Huh. Daisy May just burst out of the sage. That's right.
Oh, they just keep going.
Yeah, there's a good number of them back here. Alright, the idea is that you guys were going to cross the road. No, we're not just go down the road.
We're on a cattle drive now. We were wrestling this man's cattle. They're all there they go. Nope.
There's still, wow, there's a bunch more down in the bushes.
Some of them keep thinking, hey, let's get off the trail.
They keep coming out.
Did you guys fuck off the road?
Man, they're still coming. I hope that's the last one.
I hope they don't think we're the rancher and they're just gonna all herd themselves to the fucking gate. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Oh man. Somebody would if just one bold one would take a turn to the right, the others would probably follow.
Hey Alex, we need you to cut off the road, drive through the bush, and push these cattle off the road. They just keep going.
Want to pass on your right or left?
You got cattle herding skills? You just go about 100 yards off to the right into the bushes and just start driving them over.
Oh,
rabbit.
Yeah, the rabbit.
And don't forget to do a lot of yeehaws and shit.
That rabbit was probably terrified. Imagine, I mean, think how much bigger these guys are than the rabbit is stampeding a herd of cows.
And then at the last second, there's a truck.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Seriously. We got mines to explore.
This take a really long time to drive cattle across a state or two.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, to be fair, it's just, well, there's no way they could maintain. I was saying we're going 6 miles an hour. We were, but they're trotting it out. They could maintain this pace.
The sides are so bouncy.
Just go to the right.
Ha ha! That's how it works, right? And then they just go where you want to go.
And we're about to get to the cattle guard up here.
They all start running through it, breaking their legs.
Oh, man.
Ooh, that one's branded with an E. Shaved with an E. I think they just shave them.
Yeah?
Yeah. Look at that one running and bucking. So cute. They all got their ears pierced.
Man, we were just getting ahead of these guys. Now they're coming back in. I don't think we got a chance here. I think we got a chance. Come on, Bessie.
Don't close it up, kids.
Come on, Bessie. Get out of the way. We had it. Just get out of the... Come on. Right or left? Right or left?
They don't know the difference.
I don't care which one they pick. As long as they pick one. There we go. One stubborn cow left.
It's a wide one, too.
Come on, Bessie. There we go. There we go. Finally. This image in an old history book is what drew us to this site. We came up just a little bit farther and you can see that that's definitely tram bucket there. and then there are 2 others there. So that's pretty cool to confirm that. There's this metally bit here at my feet. Not sure what that was. And then the road keeps wrapping up the mountain. And hopefully the rain stops, or at least lets off a bit. Continuing our way up, and we found one of those pieces of equipment. This one's much more attacked. It's got the wheel on it. You can see the cable would have run through that groove there. We've seen that wheel in other tramway systems as well.
They must have fixed it at one point. Someone used just a wire nail to hold it in.
Oh, you're right, yeah. Yeah, you're right. See the top of the nail right
Should
there.
have been a proper pin.
Interesting. Somebody was half-assing it.
If it works.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously it does, since it's still in place more than a century later. Huh. Well, the rain didn't let up, but we are getting closer. There's one more waste rock pile, and then we're gonna hit that one. We made it up to the first portal there. It's got decent rail out here, which is a nice sign. You can tell there was a building here. Fire came through here not too long ago, which unfortunately took out a lot of the buildings that were here. But seeing all this rail is encouraging. And the waste rock pile is decent, you know, goes all the way down there. So we'll get in there and take a look at this one. And the road keeps wrapping up the mountain. Still got a ways to go. I just slipped in from there, and right away got some cool rail here. Took out the rest of it though, but it's kind of cool seeing it just in the beginning. And it runs ahead of us here, as you can see. Nice and spacious. It's a little bit damp, but not wet, I would say. Just a little bit damp. So I might have some track ties up here, or timber supports. Hope that's not the end. Looks like some of that came down on its own. It looks like there may have been some gob in there already. Yeah, I guess well, some of those look like ties. Some of those look like timber supports. Uh-oh. Oh, man. All right, well, looks like we're moving on to the next one. Oh, I was thinking maybe I go on the right, but that's... nope. That is done. All right, on to the next one. Back out of the mine, obviously, and something I overlooked before was this collection of single jack and double jack drills here that are well worked. And also, this drill bit here, you notice something about this, it doesn't have the hole for the water. So we're talking turn of the last century roughly, or something like that. Tells us this is quite an old mine. Still making our way up the mountain at the next waste rock pile, which is pretty large. And this one's pretty cool because it has ore cars here, or the remains of ore cars. But the adit appears done. Where'd the others go? Is there anything over there?
Not that I've seen yet.
A little bit of rail out here. Unfortunately, it looks like there was more here that burned. It's a pretty good sized ore car though. Pretty good sized waste rock pile too. Hope the wind's not messing up the audio. There's looking out that finger. More of the same waste rock pile. It's pretty big, but I haven't seen anything yet. Still the same site, and we found a good part of the tramway system. This component of it I'm not so sure about. It's got some sort of hopper looking thing here, and this pipe running out. It's not a feature of a tram system I've seen before, so I'm not sure what that's about. However, behind me, unmistakably, tram system. See the giant wheel there. And, ooh, has dates on it. I like that. Patented in 27th of September 1892. How about that? That's really cool. Well, we made our way to the most promising mine here, or I should say most promising looking. That's the one with the rail coming out down there. And fortunately, it was caved. So I climbed up to this one. And unfortunately, this one was caved. Big fire came through here a couple of years ago. You can see all the dead trees around me. Must have really come ripping through here because you can see how overgrown it was. There are a couple adits marked on the topo down there. We took the high road in. We'll take the low route out and see if we can get underground. Well, while I was scouting out the upper one, they took a crack at getting this one open and were successful. So we'll slide into this one and hopefully see good things. It's one reason it's nice going with a group. You can divide people up into different tasks, get things done. We're gonna let him go in first and then see if it's worth going in or not. It could be caved 5 feet back, you know what I'm saying? So the word was 3 or 4 inches of mud, but no footprints at all in the mud. So that means nobody's been here for a long, long time. And as we were discussing on the way in, this would have been completely choked out with impenetrable brush on the way in. And the only reason we were able to do this now without a helicopter is because of the fire. So this is promising. Just dropped into the mine, and it's actually not quite as muddy as I feared. It's muddy, but not. Oh, okay, great. Never mind. It gets worse. First look ahead. Looks good. Obviously, the water line is much higher. In the winter, you can see about 2-3 feet up. Interesting layering in the rock here. You were right about the mud. And then there's a little raise right here. That's odd. Actually, it might just be plugged with rock debris. I don't think that's where it stopped. Okay. Ugh. Oh, man. All right. Definitely sinking deep in the mud now.
Justin,
Yeah?
I'm walking on the rail using the walls to balance, not slip.
Yeah. It's hard to video and look where I'm going at the same time. I'm martyring myself for the viewers. Oh, man. I'm already covered in mud anyway. I'm just going to go for it. This should be getting better, not worse. Should have been the worst in the portal. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, still going. I don't see any sign of ground fall, which is a good sign. The rock seems pretty solid. I know those are words that tempt fate, but it seems pretty good so far. I think it's cool they still have the rail here. Man, it would suck to drop our cameras on this, wouldn't it? Okay, I got some timbers here. This is as far as my friend went. Yeah, my friend turned around here. Jake turned around there. So now we're in new ground. And Like I said, disappointingly, doesn't seem to be getting less muddy. Not really seeing much vein action, but there's a little bit of quartz right there. But I haven't seen any stopes or anything like that yet. Just plenty of mud. More boards. Yeah, me too. I was supposed to have a gentle incline, so in theory we should be getting out, but that theory hasn't worked out yet. There's something up ahead, some timber supports, and then something beyond them. Some rail tossed to the side here. A little bit of a funky smell. Got some rotted boards on the side. This is pretty cool looking. You can see this is old. The lagging is almost completely rotted away here. It's getting hard to look at what's ahead. Might be the end of the line. You guys might want to wait for me to... Oh man, this is getting horrible. Yeah, it looks bad. I think I'll turn the camera off, try going along the side, and pick up over there. Just made my way through the mud, and you can see all the loose material that was coming underneath. Along with those rotted timbers. Really cool lagging here. Now to my left, it keeps going. There's some stoping back there, it looks like. Pile of timbers here, some pretty beefy timbers. And to my right, it keeps going as well. And again, it's staggering to me that those timbers are able to hold up all that loose material, but somehow they are. And I thought that was completely caved at first, but it actually goes beyond. But I don't know if we're going to be able to go beyond, but there is a void there. Ooh. Ha ha ha.
Spicy?
That's belly button deep mud. And you got to go under this.
Let's go.
Well, not my turn. I went to the upper attic and I pioneered through that mud. So
Mike's done that much.
That's a good point, actually. Mike?
Mike's thinking about going back out.
All right. Sticking the camera in there. I cannot see what you're seeing right now. But belly button deep mud crawling under that pile. All the artifacts would be vanquished anyway. Gonna not go down this one. Does not look like any fun. And I actually just maneuvered in a position where I can see better. I think it's caved right there anyway. All right, we are just looking on the other side over there. Climbed over those timbers, and there's a lot going on back here, which is pretty cool. See the rail runs by this winds,
That does keep going a little bit, but those
which
they're so cross.
drops down
They're like this.
to a rubble-filled
I mean, you can go up the
space below. Really hard to tell. Might have been those wooden slide rails for a skip car. It's really tough to say. Could have just been an ore pass too. Got the quartz right there. You can see where they're running off in different directions here. And then behind me, There's a really large ore chute. It's probably 3 feet across. Yeah, there are bigger ore chutes, but for this mine, that's a big ore chute. Of course, the timbers do not look healthy
Doing that there.
at all.
Want me a flashlight?
Case in point, right in front of me.
Gotta look that way. Bud.
A lot of water seeps down from above, obviously. And look at all that rock. It's just being supported by nothing. This is definitely on the sportier side. All right, who looked back there?
I did.
How's it look?
Keeps going, but it's the pucker factor. You gotta fit through some lagging with a lot of loose chunks of rock just resting on it and the right ribs slabbing out. It's doable, but
It's juicy. Super juicy.
Well, let me take a look at it.
you can crawl a little further to get a better view.
There's that likely winds dropping down. And then this is what's straight ahead in this area. You can see how bad that looks. Oh, that's nice. I just saw dirt dribbling down on its own. Like that. Cool. That's really reassuring. That's exactly what you want to see when you go into a mine, is spontaneous rockfall. So that's looking on top of what we were looking at before, that it all caved. And you see how much is all caved through here. This is the quartz vein, highly mineralized back here. And it's not uncommon for the ore itself to be a fairly soft rock. And so that's definitely the case here. That's why the ground here is so bad. Reminds me of some of the Colorado mines, actually. This one reminds me of those a lot. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think that does not look like fun. It technically goes, but I think actually it's caved. Just behind those, if you look through, you can see a bunch of stuff crushed down. I think it's done just past that. Either way, I'm going to call this one. This is one of those cases, you know, with the dry mines, I'm willing to push and be a bit more aggressive because you can find some really cool artifacts and stuff. But when it's already this muddy, wet, and sloppy, you're not going to see any artifacts anyway. You're risking your life for very little reward. All right, my buddy's showing me up. He's crawling up a little bit closer just to confirm that is in fact caved. So he went back there and did confirm that it was caved. While I was waiting for him, I happened to look up and look what I saw. I got to 715. I think the last one's an 8, but I can't make out. Can you make that out? What it is between the 15 and the 8?
715.
Yeah, 715 what?
5. Is that a 5?
I thought at first it was, but it doesn't quite look right. It is a 5. It means it was a mine explorer from long ago. Either way, 58, that was a while ago. We're hoping that this in front of us connects to some of the other adits here, but we're not feeling any airflow at all, so it could just be a winds. This vein right here obviously runs almost all the way up through there, given the size of that ore chute, so it'd stand to reason it runs down as well. So they may have just been chasing it down. That winds is right there, and there's another view of the ore chute. Something we noticed on the way out is this boot here. Now, given what we walked through, I'd want to keep my boots, but somebody left their boot behind. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but it's made out of leather. I accidentally turned off the video. I was starting to say that I'm not a boot expert, but I think that big hole in the toe would probably mean that could be the reason somebody left it here. But it is all leather. And I would say it's old, but I can't tell much more than that because of all the mud on it. The unpleasant adit we just explored is that one. And we've come down a bit, and remains of a stone cabin here. And I mentioned how little visited this area was. There is just stuff everywhere. We've seen buttons, bits of metal everywhere, can dump, you name it. Sure a bottle collector would have a good time here. More stuff there. Lots of, sorry, it's burned. You can tell this would have had a wood frame inside. See the hinges on the frame. There would have been a wood frame in the door here. See the frame here?
Oh, nice.
It burned, unfortunately. Yeah, there might even have been a roof on this a couple years ago, but it all burned out. Some big quartz boulder right there. This is the window. You see all the stuff that was in the window. I got a single jack right here. Some old porcelain. I wonder how long that's been up here. Unfortunately, the bottom is missing because that's where the manufacturer's information would most likely be. Really cool. And that's not all, because across the way, look at that opening. And it is open. You can see it from here. There's obviously a building there as well. And that's a big waste rock pile underneath. Maybe you can't see it from this perspective, but coming down, we could see it pretty clearly. It's big. That building we're just checking out is up the hill. And I looked down and found this here. And I'm not sure what its purpose was, because this drops down really steeply down and then goes vertical. It drops a long way down in the wash there. Let's better look at that waste rock pile. I'm really curious what this was about. More stuff over here. Had a decent sized community up here. And check out this old stove. See the ornate design on the side of it. That's pretty cool. Might even be a manufacturer's mark on that piece. No. Oh, there we go. There's some writing on it.
Milwaukee and Chicago.
Milwaukee. Maybe that's not part of the
The
stuff.
Fuller Warren Company.
There, they somewhat put it back together for us. That thing with the writing on it was the base.
That's like you would scoop the coals or ash or whatever.
Yeah, I was thinking that. But I am really curious about that one. Sure hope that's dry and not super muddy.